I just sniffled my nose and I wasn't expecting my mic to not be muted. Or expecting my mic to be muted. Oops. Oh, gamers. Gamers. Ugh. Goodness. Goodness alive. I do want to know. Probably not a thing. No. Goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm barping. I just had some Taco Bell for the first time in quite a while. So I'm probably going to be suffering. But I really wanted Taco Bell. My nose is all... So, yeah, hi, how we doing? Hope you all are doing well today. I'm doing decently. It's a little manicked, as it were, because it is hot out today. It's like 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I don't know, freaking something high in Celsius, or relatively low, I guess. I don't know, freaking, I don't know the math off the top of my head. Oh, man. Ugh. Lord alive, I am bringing way too much energy for how I feel right now. That's alright. That's alright. I'm gonna let this go a little bit longer here as we wait for people to join in. Need to figure out where my... Guess my nose wasn't ready for like some jalapenos or something, because like, dude, my nose is runny. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I hope you all are doing well today. I'm doing alright, all things considered. I had a terrible headache from yesterday. I really wish I didn't, but it is what it is. I had... I guess it's because I forgot to take some of my prescription stuff. Oh, I say prescription, but it's technically not truly prescribed. It's just some supplements to help with migraines. So yeah. Yeah, no, I'm doing all right. I had a yeah. Sorry, I'm also like very space cadet right now. One of the supplements I do kind of like absolutely murders my focus. Ah, Lord alive. But yeah, we'll be starting here shortly, officially shortly. Just gonna let the ads roll through. We're gonna be doing some writing today. I think we're gonna actually start to write out the end of the prologue, the actual fight. Because the idea for the fight will simply be that it's like, okay, you know, this is what's gonna get people hooked to the show. If it was to be made into a show. Hopefully be engaging enough for people to actually want to see Dakota and the Bloodsmith square off again. So I'm honestly kind of happy that Dakota's sticking. I thought it would have taken me more to get comfortable with calling him Dakota. because again, it's like it's one of those things where it's like I'm not used to going by something that's not like a name I'm usually associated with. I really want to change the size of my. Oh, that's how. I'm trying to adjust the size of my previews here in OBS because I think that'll help me reduce some of my like processing power for the source. I don't think it's adjusting the size of it in any other regard other than just like what you guys are seeing. That will come eventually once I get some more gathered or purchased. Excuse me, good grief. I am so sorry, I'm burping up a bunch. Not saying that anyone wants to hear me belch or anything like that. I try to be respectful for it. Ad is playing. Go ahead. Get things rolling here. Yeah, admittedly, I am having a go with focus right now, so. It's funny because the one supplement I do take to help with my migraines is supposed to help with focus, and it's currently not. This may be an issue in writing, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh my gosh. We will see though. Yeah, it is warm today. Very, very warm today. Also, I'm not entirely sure about how much we're going to get done today. I do want to go for it. Michael Bay should have been the one to direct the Minecraft movie. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but my counterpoint is it should have been Christopher Nolan. How you doing today, Superdog? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. We be writing today. I thought about playing more video games, but like, I don't know. I really want to take more time to actually work on my writing stuff for this project. And one of the ways I want to do that is just by, well, actually doing it more. So, M. Night Shyamalan. The problem is, though, is like M. Night Shyamalan would want to put a twist in there where a twist doesn't need to be in the Minecraft movie. So, like, I get where you're coming from, but I politely decline. Oh, my freaking. Can't say that out loud on stream. That'll give you trouble. Okay, so Twitch Integrated Throwing System, otherwise known as TITS. I mean, yeah, but like at least there's explosions in Minecraft, you know? Because like TNT and creepers, oh man. But no, I was gonna call the Twitch Integrated Throwing System, otherwise known as TITS, tits, and say that my tits are out, but my tits are not out. They're behind a Paka shirt. Thank you for the hydrate and the stretch. Oh no. Kasuna, please, I just sat down. Kasuna, have mercy. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, I'll take the chair. Oh boy. Are we good? Are we good, gamer? For now. Thanks. Appreciate it. I do have a question for you guys though. Would you guys want to redeem to like toggle standing or sitting? Trivia hard. It was once believed that injecting shark cartilage into people would prevent them from contracting cancer. Yes, that is correct. You have won 4,000 credits. Let's go ahead. get to writing this. I have the points, just don't want to be the one that always makes you walk every time I show up. Yes, a redeem to toggle my position. Yes, I do. I often will be standing or sitting at my desk, especially if I'm on my computer all day, put into stand mode. But yes, I do have a standing sitting desk. I got it at IKEA when I moved up to Michigan. It is very, very nice. The only thing is, like, I wish it was bigger. Yeah, I feel like that would be important. It'd be funny to spam them to make me do squats. Honestly, I've thought about doing some like dumb workout related redeems, like doing curls or squats or something like that. But the problem that would be is I could just totally lie about it and not actually do them unless I had a webcam set up for it. So if we are going to ever get to the point where I have like 2 PCs set up where I can have multiple webcams and angles set up, that will be something that happens. Because like I'm not against showing my face off online. Like my face does exist out there. It's what the Savage Gaming emote is, or Savage Power. Most of the faces on here are me. The other one's a friend of mine who was cool with me having that as an emote. But yeah, like no, I'm okay with my face being out there because I do exist. And online, like I do have my picture out on the internet. Oh, we don't have music. Let me go ahead and get music going. On Spotify load. I have some it's unfortunate to me, but one of the artists I like has started to embrace AI generation stuff for their content, which really, really sucks. Because I wanted to buy merch of theirs, but I found out that their merch that they do is all AI generated schlock. So it's like, well, now I'm not buying your merch. Pull a Technoblade and do an elbow reveal. Brother, my face has been on this channel before. I mean, if you want to see my elbow, sure, whatever, cool. But, like, I mostly got the VTuber model for those that aren't comfortable with IRL stuff. Some of the friends I have or not. Yeah, AI sucks. We could go on a rant about AI. Right, so now we should probably actually start writing this out, huh? What I should do is convert this into another document so I can pull from it. You know, if everybody, all my homies say AI. It's just a known fact. Penis. You wanted me to say penis. That's it? I also forgot I had the spicy redeem enabled. My bad, slime. I don't think my nephew actually watches these unless it's like a Minecraft one. You're poor now. So you used the spicy redeem for penis alone. Okay. Hey, more power to you. All right, so what I'm thinking we'll need to do now, if we want to actually write this out, is to start from, like, I mean, besides the beginning of the fight, but right here, everyone, time chat. Oh, thanks, Edbot. I started reading that. No, don't make me read 50 Shades of Grey. No. Hey, yo, 69. Yeah, you're gonna credit mog me. Shut up. Don't shut up. I actually enjoy talking with you, Soup. Okay. Man, it'd be a shame if I had to go use the restroom before I even actually started writing. Credit mogging is your passion. That's fair. And through the... There's an extra space there. Also going to go myriad. Of course, I spelled myriad wrong. Yeah. Here's a storm. The cursed hollow map game requires players to kill the undead to curse the enemy team. I don't know anything about Heroes of the Storm. That was the Blizzard MOBA, wasn't it? Base. Selves. Oof. I'm gonna gamble script. Ouch. Themselves. You're very close to AK. You are at 100, and you are at 800K. Really was more precise language. Whatever. Was no updates. It was a lich, necromancer, or actually was. Thank you very much. What is it? Postman ran through a myriad of outcomes of how this could go down with whatever this enemy was. Main base had not updated him on the other postmen were dealing with themselves, or if they had confirmation about what the target actually was. No updates if it was a lich, necromancer, or anything like it. He continued to coax the Omni vehicle to go faster through the air, pushing these concerns down as he focused with the and to get to them first before he could worry about how to take them down. I just realized too I don't have my phone dashboard up. Let me get my dashboard up. Coast is clear. Time to do another heist. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Oh dear. You're throwing a grenade at me! No! Alright, actually was. No updates if it was a lich, necromancer, or anything like that. He continued to coax the Omni vehicle to go faster as it slipped through the air, pushing. Troda began pushing. He's going to down to the back of his mind. He focused on getting to had to get to them first before he could worry about how to take them. Why don't let me do... Yes! You can get sunburn still. Let's go like this. Enter. Can't paint your... knowing. All have says strengths. Alright, can't defeat your enemy without knowing what they are first. After all, we all have weaknesses and strengths needed to be accounted for. Dakota normally wasn't one to be so concerned with the target's unknowns, though. But something about this mission seemed to make him take a pause. Target's unknowns, though. Oh. Should be this. I don't want to rewrite this paragraph with Copilot. Suck my balls. But normally wasn't one to be so concerned with targets unknowns. Says, oh no! You lost so much money! Not really, though. This is... I need to do you. Weakness. Okay. Whatever. Something about this mission seemed to make him take a pause. Normally, anything that could do this was stated out fairly clear soon as the call to action was given. Dude, you'll make your money back so fast. Don't worry about it. It's one failed heist. It's called action was given, allowing each postman to prepare to the head. See, you've already almost made up half of it back. See? Exactly. Alright. I hate to do this, but I gotta use the bathroom. So I will be right back. Keep him distracted. Did that not go? Systems. Yeah, I'll be right back, gamers. Again, gamers, I am so sorry about that. That something else came up, so I do apologize, but, what was that last song? Oh, Black Tower, got it. Sorry. It's the song that plays in, Halo. Anyways, where were we? Right. We're writing. Also, hello, Romulus. There's a Romulus. He's peeking, lurking from the floorboards. It's good to see you, buddy. I do hope you are well. Yeah, let me go ahead and get things set back up over here. No, sorry. I've been waiting on a message for a while today, and it finally came through, so I had to deal with that too real quickly. So I do apologize for the delay and the long AFK, but anyways, we're back. So we're starting to write the fight. Ouch! Thank you, Romulus. Like clear as soon as the call to action was given. Normally, anything that could do this was stated out fairly clear. I probably don't need that there. Normally, anything that could do this was stated out as soon as the call to action was given, allowing each postman to prepare for the fight ahead. This didn't happen this time. Dakota was surely confident his prowess, but thankfully he had Yuri has. I mean, you're not wrong, except for a little bit. I don't know if you actually want a hyena. I mean, they would laugh often, but they are a very feral beast. Not bad, not bad. A people person. Why does it not like that? Dakota always found out, but maybe she wasn't much of a people person. Why do you not want to have that be? You want it to be much of a person? That's not... Her being what she is isn't revealed till later on, so knock it off. Trying to spoil. Trust me, I'd tame them. Maybe you would. Read what we got so far. As the ambient hum of the engines roared in Dakota's ears... Maybe it shouldn't be roared. hummed. Because it is kind of ambient thunder. Ambient thunder, ambient noise. We can just do noise. Hummed. The ambient noise of the engines hummed in Dakota's ears. The postman ran through the myriad of outcomes of how this could go down with whatever this enemy was. Main base had not updated him on what the other postmen were dealing with themselves, nor had they confirmation about what the target actually was. No updates if it was a lich, necromancer, or anything like it. He continued to coax the Omni vehicle to go faster as it zipped through the air. Dakota began pushing these concerns down into the back of his mind as he focused on getting to the target. He had to get to them first before he could worry about how to take them down. You can't defeat your enemy without knowing what they are first. After all, we all have strengths and weaknesses and strengths. I'm going to reverse that order. To be accounted for. Dakota normally wasn't one to be so concerned with the target on its unknown strengths and weaknesses. No, there wasn't much he could take down alone. There wasn't much he couldn't take down alone. One time, he even took out a dragon. I feel like that's not even needed there. Yet, something about this mission that seemed to make him take a pause. Normally, anything that could do this was stated as soon as the call to action was given, allowing each spokesman to prepare for the fight ahead. This didn't happen this time. Joe was surely confident in his combat prowess, but had his doubts. Thankfully, he had Eerie accompanying him on the mission, and out of every other postman he knew, she was by far one of the most capable. She never seemed to fail a mission, although her rating stayed very low in the public's eye. Joe always found it odd, but maybe she wasn't much of a people person. Maybe we should just put a hyphen here. People person. Oftentimes, she was sent on more special missions, handpicked by the higher positions in the order to deal with. She had a very particular set of skills, often hand in hand. Death. Polaris is brightest star in the north. Yeah, no, I don't think that was correct. Oh well, you'll make up your money here soon. You got a heist, big guy. There you go. Cannot spend. But you did win 30,000. Good grief. Oftentimes, she was sent on special missions here to have particular skills that often went hand in hand with death. That very well may be needed. It's Oprah. Right? Yeah, it's Oprah because that's where the whole like it's bees, everybody gets bees meme comes from. In the night sky. Oops. Softly. Saw. Colored. I guess it wants a dash. You needed this night. It didn't take long for Dakota to eventually catch. Alright, I do have a question. should I add in a part before Dakota catches up or after Dakota catches up to have where the main base updates the team as to what they're dealing with, or should that not happen? Because my thinking is if we have the main base update Dakota and Erie as to what they're dealing with, one, we would only realistically at this point see Dakota's perspective, and two, would it be a better time to reveal it after Dakota catches up to the target and then realizes what they are? I feel like that's the better way to go about it, because it's like, if he learns he's dealing with a vampire now, he's going to want to change up his attack pattern versus showing up to it, right? So if he learns as he catches up, yeah, so like it'd be better he's updated as he is converging on the Bloodsmith. Okay, we'll do that then. It didn't take long for Dakota to eventually catch up to the target, as the crimson-colored cloud surrounding them made it rather easy to see them in the night sky. The postman growled softly as he saw, as he slowly began piece together what he would be fighting. As he readied himself to go out into the night, heard the meter the flare up. Ooh. No gambling for you today, sir. You're still over 800,000, so I think you're at like 827, maybe 832. Let me actually see. I can actually pull it up. I'm pretty good at guessing. Well, let me see here. Oh, wow, you're actually a lot higher than I thought. Convergence layer. Okay. The ambient noise of the engines hummed in Dakota's ears. The postman ran through the myriad of outcomes of how this could go down with whatever this enemy was. Main base. Binary numbers is equivalent to the decimal number. I used to know how to read binary. It's been way too long, though. Main base. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't had to read binary since high school. So I can't remember how the numbers correspond with, like, what is what. Main base did not update on what the other postmen were doing themselves, nor had any confirmation of what the target actually was. No updates if it was Lich, Necromancer, or anything like it. He continued to coax the Omni vehicle to go faster as it zipped through the air. Dakota began pushing these concerns down into the back of his mind as he focused on getting to the target. He had to get to them first before he could worry about how to take them down. You defeat your enemy without knowing what they are first, after all. Strengths. We all have strengths and weaknesses that need to be accounted for. Dakota normally wasn't one to be so concerned with the target's unknown strengths and weaknesses, though. There wasn't much he could take down alone. Yet, it's something about this mission seemed to make him take pause. Normally, anything that could do this was stated out as soon as the call to action was given, along with each postman to prepare for the fight ahead. This didn't happen this time. Dakota was surely confident his combat prowess, but he had his doubts. Thankfully, he had Erie accompanying him on the mission. Out of every other postman he knew, she was by far one of the most capable. Never seemed to fail a mission, although her ratings stayed very low in the public's eye. Dakota always found it odd, but maybe she wasn't much of a people person. Oftentimes, she was sent on more specialized missions. Handpicked the higher positions in the order to deal with. Here had a very particular set of skills that often went hand in hand with death. That may very well be needed this night. It didn't take long for Dakota to eventually catch up to the target, as the crimson-colored cloud surrounding them made it rather easy to see them in the night sky. Maybe it should be glowing. The glowing crimson-colored cloud surrounding them made it rather easy to see them in the night sky. Postman growled softly as he began to piece together what he would be fighting. As he readied himself to go out into the night, he heard the communicator in the Omni vehicle flare up. As he readied himself to go into night, he heard the communicator in the Omni vehicle flare up. Alright, we'll do another thing here first before we get to that. Slave, please get over to be fighting. Cloud. First, give away. Wished. Had. One second. Good grief. No, you're not going to do that. See? Because if you did that, you wouldn't get 30,000 credits. And put yourself at nearly 900,000 credits. Actually, you're probably over 900,000 now. You had some blast munitions on it. There was only one thing he knew of for sure. That. And of himself going tonight, he heard the communicator in the Omni vehicle flare up. It was a postman on site where the fire was, calling out to main base about what the situation was. HQ, be aware. Let's go! You are nearly there. Only 100,000 more to go. HQ, be aware. HQ, be aware. Fire is being put cover. Contagion. I spelled contagion wrong. Unte. Is it because of contagion? Okay. Confirmed. HQ, be aware, fire is put out. However, contagion is confirmed. Civilians in sector. Scroll down a little bit. Come on. Brother, you just gotta have just a modicum of patience. Just 19 more seconds of it. Compromised. Civilian sector have been compromised. Multiple deaths. Outbreak to be empiric. We can try to obtain and knock out targets for empiric break spreads. To be aware, fires put out. However, contagion is confirmed. Civilians in sector have been compromised. Multiple deaths. Outbreak empiric. Try to contain and knock out targets before empiric outbreak spreads. However, do not have missions to do safe routines. Photos. There was only one other order. Only one order he wished never had to hear. So, he shut off his immune door. Ooh, X-Men Storms and Nightcrawler largely depend. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if many people would have known that, Soup Dog. I know it's been a while since I knew about that. Oh, his heart sank. There was only one order he wished to never had to hear. So he shut his communicator off to not hear what would become of those infected. Some of those affected couldn't stand that level of failure. You're getting there. It's also nice that it's giving you some repeat questions, too. Let's see here. Dakota's heart sank. There was only one order he wished he never had to hear. So he shut off his communicator to not hear what would become of those infected. He could stand that level of failure. Grimacing with rage, he opened his vehicle up, drawing his rifle as the shifting magics began to up and allow Dakota to stand ready to take aim onto the map. That is what he saw that did, in fact, hostage. Hostage was a younger looking, looking person, maybe early yes, oldest. Couldn't quite tell as the crimson energy flowing out from their mouth. To act fast. Holstering weapon. Ready. Penis! Hold it. Ooh. I didn't even see what the question was. Sir, Justin Bieber's debut? I have no idea. I want to know that either. 20s. Hostage was a younger looking person, maybe in the early 20s at the oldest, but he couldn't quite tell as the crimson energy flowing out from their mouth. It's flowing out from their mouth of eyes and around. Of course, you would make me walk now. Ah! Goodness, okay, fine, I'll walk. You did this, though. You did this. Oh, jeez. It's a terrible quote. I don't think there's over 1 million words in the Harry Potter books. I doubt that, really. That seems insane. Let me go take my walk.
Let's go gambling!
I believe it. I return. Ooh. Good hit, good hit. All right, I'm back. Now, where was I writing? Okay, the hostage was a younger-looking person, maybe they're in the 20s, of those, but couldn't quite tell as the curtains and energy flowing out from their mouth and eyes began to coalesce around. I spelled coalesce wrong. Empire. I'm ready for 2 spells. Leapt. Shifted to close and finishing. Visibility. Oh. You can't steal credits. Also, yes, if you put my name in the chat, it pings me. So. Oof. Sorry, Kasuna. That was not the case. Okay. Should probably make sure we add this in, because we do have this. I mean, we did change it to have him be the one that gives it. So maybe we do Heart Sank. There's only one order of universe here. Can be allowed Dakota. Hostage. The hostage was younger looking person. Yeah, act fast. Clear multiple last orders. Empire. Myself going tonight. I feel like I'm doing the whole like this too much, where it's like paragraph. I feel like I'm doing this too much, where it's like paragraph one sentence break, paragraph 1 sentence break, paragraph 1 sentence break, paragraph 1 sentence break. I feel like I'm doing that too much. So I think we can go ahead and make this just part of this paragraph. Join the heist. Suna, I think if you want to heist too, you have enough credits to do 10,000. That is up to you. Able to do... I mean, yeah, I am, but I feel like it's just still too much. You know, because it's like... I can see it happening like once in a while like this because like it emphasizes a point made in the previous paragraph. Whereas like this one doesn't necessarily need to be here. You know? It's hard to describe the emotion I'm trying to convey with what I mean by that. Because it's like, it almost like I'm trying to make too many points known at once versus like actually having it be impactful individually. Like, it didn't take long for Dakota to eventually come out as the glowing crimson colored cloud surrounding them made it easy to see them in the night sky. Postman growled softly as he slowly began to piece together what he'd be fighting. The crimson cloud was first giveaway. Wish he had some blessed munitions on him. There was only one thing he knew of for sure with that kind of power: a vampire. He prepared himself to go into the night, hear the communicator and the Omni vehicle flare up. Communicator flare up. There was a postman on site where the fire was, calling out to main base about the situation, as Crown said. Alright. As he readied himself to go out into the night, his vehicle began to confirm his target. Correctly, though. As he readied himself to go out into the night, his vehicles began to confirm his by its own volition, but by the communicator flaring up. It was a postman on site where the fire was, calling out to main base what the situation was ground size. HQ be aware. However, HQ be aware the fire is being put out. However, contagion is confirmed. Civilians in sector have been compromised. Multiple deaths. Outbreak to be vampiric. We can try to contain and knock out targets before the vampiric outbreak spreads. However, we do not have the munitions available to do safe containment in full capacity. Orders. Ooh, you're getting there. You're getting there, Soup Dog. One more heist and you'll be there. 1 million credits. What are you going to do with all those credits? This is an important question to ask yourself. Rig auctions. Fair and valid, fair and valid. That is something you are technically able to do, given your status. Let's see here. You fix my stream manager. Went down. You fix my stream manager. It double spoke for me. The hostage was younger. Look, opening up. Why do you not want that? Opening up. It can be done. Whatever. At full capacity. Heart sank. Only one order he wished he never had to hear, so he shut off his computer. Not hear what would become of those infected. He could stay in that level of Harry. Grimacing with rage, he opened the vehicle up, drawing his rifle as the shifting magics began to work. Opening the canopy to allow Dakota to stand up at it, ready to take aim onto the vampire. He saw didn't have to have hostage. He had to act fast. He holstered his weapons and holstering his weapons and running his watch for 2 spells. He leapt out of his vehicle, shifted back to close, and disappeared. Vehicle, should probably say the vehicle. The vehicle. Shifted back to close and disappeared, vanishing into invisibility as the postman raced towards his target. Spells channeled are that of speed. Yeah. Only channels were that of speed and omni movement. giving him nearly control in the night as he flew at his fortunate. I spelled it wrong. God dang it. Fortunately, the vampire heard, sensed him, turned towards towards Dakota. Conspiracy theory moment? What are we... Oh! Took me a second. That gambling's the devil, so that's why it has the devil's number. Is that your conspiracy theory moment? I wouldn't doubt it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, the vampire heard or sensed him and turned towards Dakota suddenly, ceasing the flow of magic and tossing the body aside. That Dakota noticed the outfit. That is when all the anger and rage boiling inside of Dakota spilled over. Vampire. They have just killed so many people. And doomed people. And act fast, holstering his weapon, holstering his rifle, running his weapon for 2 spells he left out. Fortunately, the vampire heard a sense towards ceasing the flow of magic and tossing body aside. The body disintegrated into dust. Dust. They're finished. It's meal. His meal. His meal. That is when Dakota noticed his outfit. That is when all the anger and rage boiling inside Dakota spilled over. Wolfen Postman drew out his pistol and began to fire up. Garb was that very similar nature to what Dakota. Dissipate as the rounds of magic green pepper. However, became clear to Dakota that this wasn't any regular fire. Bullets staggered. Ready for the heist now. We'll see. There you go. You are over 1 million credits, Soup Dog. Congratulations. How do you feel? As even the magic nature of the bullets would have staggered him, wasn't. Was. The postman. It just doomed so many people. Dakota didn't want to believe who it was. He heard this postman's prowl and knew what were heard rumors that possibly being dead or worse. Yes, it was the worst. Have Bliss. Congratulations, dude. You're the first person here to make 1 million credits. Congratulations. It is going to be very, very hard for people to catch up to you. Dakota didn't want to believe who it was. He heard of the postman's prowess. He heard of this postman's prowess and knew what they were capable of. He heard rumors of them possibly being dead or worse. So it was a worse outcome. No one had seen them in months. Dakota assumed they were deep cover or rumors of them possibly being dead or worse. So it was real stuff. I die with pride. No, you cannot die, for I have need of you yet. Was times hand. Beware. So we're saying there was only one order enough for us share, so himself his commuter, he had to act fast, holstering his weapon and ripping his spells. Popped out of the vehicle. The vehicle shifted back. Close and disappeared. Did you say you have a need for me? Yeah, no, that is exactly what I said. You are not allowed to die yet. My first guard was of very similar nature to what Dakota was wearing, so it was tattered, worn, damaged, covered in vitality, wasted. The vampire's magical cloud began to dissipate as a round of magic was peppered into him. However, it became clear to Dakota that this wasn't any regular vampire, as even the magical nature of the bullets would have staggered him. He was just a regular vampire. It was a postman. They had just doomed so many people. Dakota didn't want to believe who it was. He had heard of this postman's prowess and knew what they were capable of. No one had seen them in months. Dakota assumed they were in deep cover or something. He had heard rumors of them possibly being dead or worse. I guess it was a worse outcome then. Yeah, you are needed. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not going to say this to sound like I'm being crass or anything, but it's also like, you're a good person. You shouldn't have to die. You know? You haven't done anything to deserve death yet, in my eyes. But then again, it's like one of those things where it's like you can't really just wish death upon people. It's not cool. Even if they've done something terrible, it's not a good idea to just wish wanton death onto others like that. There are people who deserve death, obviously, yes. But the problem is, in a lot of regards, even when somebody has done something that deserves death, there will be people that take advantage of it and them and make it so that it's a matter of using it for their own ends, right? So, like, if you label somebody as something that deserves death, then anybody can label them as something that deserves death and then decide to kill them. I know it's kind of like a really sudden thing to go off of, but again, hard time focusing today, so. I mean, but for having a hard time focusing today, we sure did do a lot of writing yet. We're on page 3. We're about to be on page 3 of the writing. Not bad. Joe didn't want to believe who it was. He heard a postman prowess. Wolf then pressed on, and presuming that the postman was a lucky victim and not doing this intentionally. As closed the gap, other laughed harshly. There is no shop yet, but that is a great idea too. The other laughed harshly in new nades. I haven't taken the time to make new nades yet, but if we're pulling from Halo 3, we have the firebomb grenade and then the spike grenade, which I could probably find sound files for if we really wanted to add those in. But I want sticky nade, but you have sticky nade. It's only the second most iconic, if not the most iconic Halo grenade, is the sticky nade. So he closed the gap, the other laughed harshly and channeled a... Oh, jeez. Plasma nade. As he closed the gap, the other laughed harshly and channeled a dark energy blast. Time to dodge. Managed to do so. Gonna scroll. Managed to do so. It was even worse. They weren't acted. Fire. They were. Worse. Good, I don't want to believe who it was. He heard rumors of the postman's prowess, knew what they were capable of. No one had seen him in months. Dakota assumed they were in deep cover or something. He heard rumors of them possibly be dead or worse. Guess it was a worse outcome then. Worse outcome then. The wolf and postman pressed on, naively presuming that the postman was an unlucky victim, not doing this intentionally. As he closed the gap, the other laughed harshly and channeled the dark energy blast. Dakota barely had time to dodge it and managed to do so. It was even worse. They weren't infected by a vampire. They were the vampire. Although... There we go. So whistle the air for flinging the vampire towards the many finished. Want to frame my credit amount? I mean, just take a screenshot. Do it. You did well. Towards 1. Many unfinished build in this zone. I've already nice. That's gonna be so mad that he didn't get there or wasn't here for it. As he closed the gap, the other laughed harshly and channeled a dark energy blast. Whoa, thanks for the follow, Onyx Fury. Hope you're doing well today. And because you followed, everybody gets 1,000 credits. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well today. My name is Jared. I go by TheSavageED. I am a hobby streamer. I've actually never nailed down how I want to do like an introduction to who I am. But I'm a hobby streamer. I do this for the love of the game. I write as a hobby, so one of the things we are writing right now is the background character, or the background for the character who will eventually be this Twitch channel's mascot. That'll be Dakota, Jared, or rather it's Jared with the nickname Dakota Powell. He is a werewolf, cybernetically augmented bounty hunter from the story called Arcane Chronicles we were working on. But yeah, I'm doing well. Hope you are too. You caught us in the beginning of the fight that happens in the prologue and forward we have done for the story. This is essentially the background stuff for what we're doing for the story. This has been in works for quite a while. We spent like 2 months working on the background and lore for the world. They can when they're not quite ripe. They can be white, but they're typically like also still white on the outside. They turn red from the outside in, if that makes sense. So like they can be white on the outside, but yeah. Yeah. Thank you for stopping in, Onyx. We're doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Yeah. Where were we? I have the gift of... Hey, there is nothing wrong with having a gift of poetry, okay? That is one of the things that I actually started writing first when I started getting into creative writing when I was younger. I did a lot of writing in high school. And I stopped just because of, like, it was hard to juggle or justify writing when I had other things I wanted to do. So, but now in my older years, I've come back to it. Giving me stuff to do since I was 13 years old. Yeah, that's about the same time I really started taking off with writing. I did a lot of fan fiction for things that I never posted anywhere, but yeah. Where were we? A little more. Look at that. Over 1 million credits. Way to go, Soup Dog. He had to do Macedon bursts near the Tude spells etched into his body would only be overloaded. Such a way. Deal with massive bursts, sudden bursts. Be overloaded in such a way. Hey, that is a cool thing to have, man. Any sort of artistic talent that you can do with whether it be poetry, whether it be writing, art, or whatever. The dreaded likable. There's
Yo, guys, it's me, Charlie. Hey, did that guy just turn into sand?
Yeah, what was that?
Thank you for throwing off my thought. Oh. I'm terribly sorry for assuming your gender. My bad. My bad. Yeah, thank you for stopping in, Onyx. Yeah, no, there's nothing nothing wrong with writing poetry though. Yeah. Being about this, oh Lord. Everyone does. Well, in my defense, all right, I am stupid and I assume. So that's my bad. You know, we live and learn. Probably would have helped if I looked at Firebot when you got in here, because it shows the icon that you're using. That may have helped. Also, I don't know why I didn't give you 1,000 credits. It should have. I'll fix that later. Never says that. Yeah, I think it's also just like an issue with the internet in general. Is that everybody, majority of the people that are on the internet tend to be male. Not saying that ladies or other aren't on the internet. It's just the natural way of people assuming is like, oh, it probably is a male. But we're also stupid, so. Paladin doesn't need to land before deactivating zombie movement spell, so he wouldn't crash down the building. Well, he could have bad butt username. I mean, it's okay to say badass, but I get it. Onyx Fury does scream, "This is my first gamer tag, and I'm cool." Yeah. Some of the rules here are a bit. How do I want to say it? I need to update my rules a little bit more. A lot of the stuff that the rules are based on around is because my nephew will sometimes watch my streams, and I don't want him to be learning the bad words from me. But I've recently learned that his parents aren't letting him on Twitch, so the only way he can watch my stuff is when it's uploaded to YouTube, which is good. I'm very glad that my brother is smart enough to not let him be exposed to the internet in such a way just yet. So, Reagan impacted the top concrete floor, cracking the dried cement. Struggled back to his feet. So what kind of fiction do you enjoy, Onyx? Are you more of... Also, would you prefer Onyx, Fury, 89? What do you usually go by? Me personally, I prefer fantasy in fiction, like sci-fi fiction, stuff like that. I don't have anything against other forms of fiction. It's just I would rather escape than be in non, like just read something about something that's going on, if that makes sense. Something that has gone on. Vampire winces around, beginning to hinder him. Not as much. Oh no, weapon. Fight against. Oh dear. Oh. Winces around, begin to hinder him, make him draw his own weapon to fight back against Coda. Coda wanting to take. Yeah. Large and side of his tattered coat, hold heavy, massive, did over. Tattered coat, hold up. Load barrel. Go ahead, I want to take a shot for switch large hand cannon. Large magical cannon. Go find a pillar. Checking. Reserves. See the vampire. These are launching. Fine. Back out and firing at one break. When you see the vampire now directly on top of him. I think it's best to parry and block the flurry of... Let's see, what were the notes we did about how we wanted this? He's watched his song, go back, stops with fight, done. Oh, we didn't even put this in there. See, that's why I like having... This is why I like having the notes, because then I can actually go back through and, like, make sure I'm not doing something. Or missing something I wanted to do. So let's go back and rewrite some of this stuff. Again, as he did, proposed he on as he needed the land to attack his own. Flew down as into the top of the concrete, cracking the dreadsman as he struggled to get back on his feet. Koto. As his rounds began to hinder him, make him draw. Only see the vampire was not direct. Barely had time to block the oncoming assault pistol. Ultraman called forth an energy shield of energy to protect him as he staggered back, doing his best to parry and block the flurry of attacks. As his watch continued to hold up the shield. I'm gonna copy fight monster will be done. Let's be done. Vampire Witch is around. Oh, open the fight back. A fair lady, you me with your beauty, with hair as black as night, I think of you, with eyes of emeralds, I adore you, with skin of olives, wish to hold your hands, and with your enchanting voice, I wish to talk and be next to you. All flowers pale in comparison to you, yet I have not the courage to talk to you. Beauty from afar. That's lovely. That's very lovely. Your nose found his note harshly in his chest. Once as the rounds began to hinder him, making him draw his own weapon to fight back against Dakota. Sign of his tender coat, he pulled out a heavy and massively bladed revolver. It shimmered slightly in the pale moonlight as dark energy flowed down the length of the barrel. Dakota, not wanting to have a shake shot from such a large magical hand cannon, dove behind a pillar. It is a very nice poem. It is a very nice poem. See here. Notes. Bye. You Clyde Minair, grabbing the vampire's head as he hurls him into the construction site. I want to add this in. Back here. And as he did, the gap finally closed, allowing Dot to catch him start somersaulting in the air. Catch him. Kota grabbing onto the vampire's head. As he can somersault in the air before flinging the vampire towards one of the many unfinished buildings in the construction zone. You don't mind me asking, Onyx, who was that for? Is that for somebody that you adore, or is it just like for the sake of writing it? It's honestly, writing poetry for a loved one is a forgotten art, I feel, these days. People don't really do it, or they like have Chat GPT do it for them, you know? As he did, the gap finally closed. They collided in air, stunning the vampire. Stunning the vampire. That. Loud. But to catch Reagan by his head. Well, the postman began to summer something here before letting go. Flinging the vampires towards one of the many unfilled buildings. So he had to deal massive damage to them. To him. Again. Sudden burst, as he knew the tattooed spells etched into his body would only be overloaded in such a way. He followed in as he needed to land before deactivating his Omni spell so he wouldn't crash down into the building as well. He flew downwards. Regan impacted into the top of the concrete. Top concrete floor of the building, cracking the dried cement as he struggled to get back to his feet. Bill landed a few feet away and fired away with his pistol, running magazine the clip dry, or readying another to slot into his room's garage. Reagan, you monster, what have you done? Dakota cried out as he felt his own heart pounding harsh in his chest. See if I got any other notes here I want to put in here. Make sure this is there too. I really like that. Princess is around. We'll end if you get a pistol run in the magazine drop for. Regan slowly gets up, filling the rounds. Shielding spell. Impacts his weakened shielding spell as he wipes the blood off. Coughing continues to stand. Regan, monster, what have you done? Dakota cried out as he felt his own heart pounding harshly in his chest. Regan slowly gets up. Up. Again, feeling the rounds impacting his weakened shielding spell, he wipes blood from him. Vampire coughs and continues to stand back up. Defiance. Can't spell. Defiance of Dakota's. Vampire coughs and continues to stand back up in defiance of Dakota's action. Vampire winced as the rounds began to hinder him. Draw his own weapon to fight back against Dakota. Inside of his tattered coat, he pulled out a heavy and massively bladed revolver. Sure, bring his revolver. know where we're gonna put that at. The vampire winces his round, beginning to hit him. Checking his reserves for launching back out. Only to see the vampire now directly on top of it. Had time to block the oncoming assault as his pistol was shredded due to the crimson claws. The postman called forth a shield of energy to protect him. He stayed over backward, doing his best to parry and block the flurry of blows as his watch continued to hold up the shield. Regan knew that shield would want to get he plunged off of Dakota. Let's see here. I think we're doing pretty good so far. Let me see here. Regan starts. Blood from his mouth. Vampire coughs and continues to stand back up in defiance of Dakota's onslaught. I think we should do onslaught. Onslaught. It's clear that this was not to be a capture. Vampire winces around, beginning to hinder him, making him draw his own weapon to fight back against Dakota. From the side of his tattered coat, he pulled out a heavy and massively bladed revolver. It shimmered slightly in the pale moon's light. His dark energy flowed down the length of the barrel. Dakota, not wanting to take a shot from large magical in cannon, go behind a pillar, checking his reserves before launching back out and firing out where Regan was. Checking his reserves before launching back out and taking aim. Aim at where Regan was. Only for him not to be. Only for the vampire. Only to see the vampire now directly on top. Back out. Let me just highlight taking. Stupid Microsoft Word. Took aim at where Regan was, only for him not to be there. Only to see the vampire now directly on top of him. Dakota barely had time to block the oncoming assault as his pistol was shredded due to the magic in those crimson glowing claws. Postman called forth a shield of energy to protect him as he staggered backward, doing his best to parry and block the flurry of attacks as his watchman called forth a shield of energy to protect him as he staggered back, doing his best to parry and block the flurry of attacks as his watch continued to hold up the shield. Regan knew that shield would be hard to get through normally, so he lunged off of Dakota's chest by grabbing onto the postman's arms and pulling him in close. His footed feet to the other's chest, taking off, sending the bounty hunter back away from him. As he was mid-air flipping backwards, he sent out a beam of orange magic, ensnaring Dakota before whipping him back around and crashing him into the concrete flooring. Arc fire chain. Sent to snare Dakota. Of concrete flooring. The impact left Dakota wounded as his shield broke. He slowly you know, the hooded figure was watching from. I was watching from nearby unfinished building. I was focused in through a shimmering pair of binoculars as they two fought off. We'll get back to that paragraph. That's how we're going to have Eerie notice that they're fighting. The impact left Dakota winded as his shield broke. He slowly tried to get up, but as he found his footing, a round impacted near his head. No, feet. Should be feet. He's up. Feet shattering the floor to the rest of the way as he fell through. He tried... Motherfucking ball keeps killing me. I'm sorry to hear that. In what game? Oh, Sekiro. Sorry that the bull is kicking your ass. Makes you feel any better, you don't have somebody doing a death counter for you. Alright, it is close to 7. Kind of want to do a reread and see if there's anything else I can fix in this before we call it a day. So close this time. It's always the time where you're the closest, where it gets you in the most maddening way. So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and read through this document once more. We are at 15 pages. Good grief. Maybe we won't do a quick reread. I think we'll just reread over what we have written so far today. And then we can make notes on what to change. As the ambient noise of the engines hummed in Dakota's ears, the postman ran through the myriad of outcomes of how this would go down with whatever this enemy was. Main base had not updated them on what the other postmen were dealing with themselves, or if they had confirmation about what the target actually was. No updates if it was a lich, necromancer, or anything like that. He continued to coax the Omni vehicle to go faster as it zipped through the air. Dakota began pushing these concerns down into the back of his mind as he focused on getting to the target. He had to get to them first before he could worry about how to take them down. You defeat your enemy without knowing what they are first. After all, we all have strengths and weaknesses that need to be accounted for. Dakota wasn't one to be so concerned with the target's unknown strengths and weaknesses, though. There wasn't much he couldn't take down alone. Yet, something about this mission seemed to make him take a pause. Normally, anything that could do this was stated out as soon as a call to action was given, allowing each postman to prepare for the fight ahead. This didn't happen this time. Goto was surely confident in his combat prowess, but had his doubts. Thankfully, he had Eerie accompanying him in the mission, and out of every other postman he knew, she was by far one of the most capable. She never seemed to fail a mission, although her rating still stayed very low in the public's eye. Dakota always found it odd, but maybe she wasn't much of a people person. Oftentimes, she was sent on more specialized missions, handpicked by the higher positions in the order to deal with. Eerie had a very particular set of skills that often went hand in hand with death. It didn't take long for Dakota to eventually catch up to the target, as the glowing crimson-colored clouds surrounding them made it rather easy to see them in the night sky. The postman growled softly. He slowly began to piece together what he would be fighting. A crimson cloud was the first giveaway. He wished he had some blessed munitions on him, as there was only one thing he knew of for sure with that kind of power: a vampire. As he readied himself to go out into the night, his vehicle began to confirm his knowledge. Not by its own volition, but by the communicator flaring. It was a postman on the other side. It was a postman on site where the fire was, calling out to main base about the situation. About what the situation was groundside. HQ, be aware. Fire is being put out, however, contagion is converted. Civilians in sector have been compromised. Multiple deaths. Outbreak to be vampiric. We can try to contain and knock out targets before the vampiric outbreak spreads. However, we do not have the munitions available to do safe containment at full capacity. Orders. Dakota's heart sank. There was only one order he wished he ever. I want to make sure I wrote this right. Dakota's heart sank. There's only one order he wished he never had to hear. So he shut off the computer and could not hear what would become of those infected. He couldn't stand that level of failure. Grimacing with rage, he opened his vehicle up, drawing his rifle as the shifting magics began to work, opening the canopy to allow Dakota to stand up and get ready to take aim onto the Empire. That's when he noticed he did in fact have a hostage. The hostage was a younger looking person, maybe in their early 20s at the oldest. Couldn't quite tell as the crimson energy flowing out from their mouths and eyes began to coalesce around the vampire. The victim was clearly knocked out from the vitality, leaving them being consumed by the vampire. He had to act fast. Holstering his weapons and running his watch for 2 spells, he leapt out of the vehicle. The vehicle shifted back to close and disappeared, vanishing into invisibility as the postman raced towards his target. The spells he channeled were that of speed and omni movement, giving near full control in the night air as he flew at his target. Unfortunately, the vampire heard or sensed him and turned towards Dakota suddenly, ceasing the flow of magic and tossing the body aside. The body disintegrated into ashen dust as the vampire finished his meal. That is when Dakota noticed his outfit. That is when all the anger and rage boiling inside Dakota spilled over. The wolf and postman drew out his pistol and began to fire upon the vampire. The vampire's garb was that of a very similar nature to what Dakota was wearing, except it was tattered, worn, and damaged, covered in vitality waste. The vampire's magical cloud began to dissipate as the rounds of magic began to pepper into him. However, it became clear to Dakota that this wasn't just any regular vampire, as even the magical nature of the bullets would have staggered him. It was just a regular vampire. This was a postman, and they had just doomed so many people. Dakota didn't want to believe who it was. He heard of this postman's prowess and knew what they were capable of. He hadn't seen them in months. Dakota assumed they were in deep cover or something. He heard rumors of them possibly being dead or worse. I guess it was the worst outcome then. The woven postman pressed on, naively presuming that the postman was an unlucky victim and not doing this intentionally. As he closed the gap, the other laughed harshly and channeled a dark energy blast. Dakota barely had time to dodge it and managed to do so. This bastard bull. It was even worse. They weren't infected by a vampire, they were the vampire. This made dealing with them all the more terrifying. Dakota yelled out his target's name. Reagan! As he did, the gap finally closed. They collided in air, the impact stunning the vampire. That allowed Dakota to catch Reagan by his head. Clawed hands went for his wrist as the woven postman began to somersault in the air before letting go, flinging the vampire towards one of the many unfinished buildings. He had to deal massive damage to Reagan in sudden bursts, as he knew the tattooed spells etched into his body would only be overloaded in such a way. He followed in as he needed to land before deactivating his Omni movement cell, so he wouldn't crash down into the building as well. He flew downwards. Reagan impacted on the top concrete floor of the building, cracking the dried cement as he struggled to get back to his feet. Dakota landed a few feet away and fired away with his pistol, running the magazine dry before readying another to slot and resume his barrage. Reagan, you monster, what have you done? Dakota cried out as he felt his own heart pounding harshly in his chest. Reagan, who was starting to slowly get up, began feeling the rounds impact his weakened shielding spell as he wipes the blood from his mouth. The vampire coughs and continues to stand back up in defiance of Dakota's onslaught. It was clear that this was not to be a capture mission, but an execution. It was clear to him this was not to be a capture mission, but an execution. The vampire winces rounds began to hinder him, making him draw his own weapon to fight back against Dakota. On the side of his tattered coat, he pulled out a heavy and massively bladed revolver. It shimmered slightly in the pale moon's light as dark energy flowed down the length of the barrel. Dakota, not wanting to take a shot from a large magical hand cannon, dove behind a pillar. Checking his reserves, Dakota launched back out and took aim at where Reagan was, only for him not to be there. Only to see the vampire now directly on top of him. Dakota barely had time to block the oncoming assault as his pistol was shredded due to the magic in those crimson glowing claws. The postman called forth a shield of energy to protect him as he staggered back, doing his best to parry and block the flurry of attacks as his watch continued to hold the shield. Reagan knew that the shield would be hard to get through normally, so he lunged off of Dakota's chest by grabbing onto the postman's arms, pulling him in close, bringing his booted feet up to the other's chest and kicking off, sending the bounty hunter back away from him. As he was midair flipping backwards, he sent out a beam of orange magic. A dark-fired chain was sent out to ensnare Dakota. As he was caught, Dakota tried grabbing at the chain before Reagan whipped him back around. Dakota tried to grab at the chain before Reagan whipped him back around and sent him crashing into the concrete floor. The impact left Dakota winded as his shield broke. He slowly tried to get up, but as he found his footing, a round impacted near his feet, shattering the floor the rest of the way as he fell through it. He attempted to grab onto the floor as it crumbled away, taking him and Reagan down together. All right. I feel like we're at a good spot to end it for today. And I think I said I was going to go for like 2.5 hours on Blue Sky, but I feel like at this point, we are good enough for today. We'll probably pick up this more on Tuesday if I don't find a game to play. But I feel like right now we're doing pretty good. So we're going to call it here. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys stopping in and, chatting with me and everything is always a blast. It helps me in my creative juices and allows me to focus a bit better as we go. So want to thank you guys for being here, coming in. Fix that before I go. Grab. No, I want that to be grab onto the floor. Crumble away. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, as always. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Hope you all have a good night. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to shout out Onyx. Make sure I spell your name right. Fury. That is what your name was. So bad about shouting out people for following, but yep, I want to thank you for the follow. Oh, data was returned. I spelled their name wrong. Either way, I did write it wrong. I am such a good writer, ain't I? That's exactly why y'all tuned in, huh? But yeah, let's get the shout out properly this time. There we go. Thank you for stopping in and following. I hope you all have a good night, though. We're going to call it here. I think we'll do this again on Tuesday. If not, we'll play a game, but I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure you follow on the social medias for that, as we're still working away on the Discord server. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Hope you all have a good night, and I will catch you all next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.